Welcome back to the channel, guys. Listen, this is an extremely important video. If you feel like you are lost, like you're constantly overwhelmed, like you are not moving in the direction you want to be moving, you need to follow these 3 steps that I'm going to give you if you want to live the life that you truly want and unlock your fullest potential. Otherwise, if you continue on how you are doing and you don't take into account these 3 steps I'm about to give you, you will float along in life and you will not achieve anything that you actually want to achieve. First of all, the number one reason why you feel overwhelmed, why you feel lost, why you feel constantly dissatisfied with yourself is because of entropy. Now, entropy is a law of the universe. Entropy is simply the tendency for things in the universe to bias towards disorder rather than order. In order for there to be order in our lives, in the universe, and the reality that we have around us, we need to exert energy and create a curated, systemized plan in order to reduce entropy and actually find a direction that we want our lives to go towards. If we don't do this, we will carry on in life listlessly, constantly longing for something else, constantly feeling like we are not doing enough, like we're not doing the right things. And at the end of our lives, we will look back and we will just feel dissatisfied. And this is the last thing that I want, and I know it's probably the last thing that you want. So these next 3 steps are incredibly important to turning your life around. No matter if you're a young professional, a student, anybody who feels overwhelmed and lost in life right now, if you follow these 3 steps, you will find direction, you will find purpose, and you will actually curate a plan so that you can live the life that you've always wanted to live. The first step that I'm going to give you is I want you to write. Now, this step is going to be broken into 2 steps because the first part of this step is to simply write down all of the chaos that's in your head, a stream of consciousness. You want to put everything on a page or a Google Doc to get it out of your head and onto paper, onto a Google Doc. Because frankly, if you leave this stuff just roaming around in your head, the anxiety, the stress, it's not going to go away. So I want you to write down everything. Write down the things that are bothering you. Write down the things that you keep thinking about. Write down your desires, your fears. I want you to do a whole stream of consciousness, and I want you to write for at least 3 pages. Because if you are truly lost, if you are truly overwhelmed, you have so many things that are stuck in your head that you have not been able to get over. Limiting beliefs, stressors. If you write them all down, the relief will be instant. I guarantee that. So I want you to write down for at least 3 pages a stream of consciousness. Write down what is stressing you out. Take the chaos out of your brain, put it onto something tangible so that you can start to reduce the entropy that is holding you back from unlocking your fullest potential and living the life you want to live. Now, after you've done the 3 pages of a stream of consciousness, I want you to read it and analyze it. What are the patterns that you've noticed in your writing? What are the things that constantly come up that whenever you think about them, they release cortisol? You just feel that anxiety and stress coming the second you think about it. These are the problems that you need to fix and focus on. So now that you've reduced the entropy that's in your head by writing, the second part of this first step is to actually do a life audit. Now, I've spoken about a life audit in several of my other videos, but this is simply dividing your life into its major domains, whether that be fitness, mental health, relationships, work, school, etc. And then based on your satisfaction with each level, rate it out of scale of 1 to 10. And then after you've done this, I want you to see which ones are the lowest or which ones you want to improve the most. And then I want you to create a systemized plan of action that focuses on improving either 1 or 2 of those areas. Now, this follows into step 2 of the 3 ways that you can reduce the overwhelm that's in your head and is holding you back. Step 2 is to prioritize. Once you've done the life audit, once you've identified the problems that are keeping you chronically stressed and overwhelmed, you can now start to prioritize which problems you're going to fix and the 2 areas of your life that you want to fix the most. For me, when I did this process, I realized that I had a million goals that I wanted to achieve, right? I wanted to get the best grades. I wanted to achieve a dream physique. I wanted to start my own business. I wanted to continue creating content at a very high level. I wanted to do everything, right? And there just wasn't enough time in the day, and I ended up burning out. The way that you can prevent this from happening is by prioritizing which ones are most important to you in the moment for the next 6 to 8 weeks. Now, I did this process after I was hospitalized during the middle of my first term at university, and the 2 areas that I identified that I really needed to work on were, first of all, my mental health, because the burnout and the overwhelm from school, starting a startup, doing YouTube, going to the gym constantly, feeling like I need to do a million things, it just destroyed me mentally. And that was one of the areas that I really needed to focus on. It was a 3 out of 10 when I did the life audit. And The second area of life that I really needed to work on were my relationships. Because I was so overwhelmed and so caught up in my million goals, I never really made an effort to make social connection. I was lonely and isolated. Thus, I really needed to create a systemized plan of action so that I could create stronger relationships, so that I have a support system around me, so that I don't end up burning out, don't end up having stress cause health issues that kept me from returning to school this year. Now, once you prioritize the 1 or 2 areas of your life that you want to focus on the most, I want you to envision the person that you want to become in these areas. So for example, let's say the 2 areas of your life that you want to work on are relationships and fitness. I want you to envision the type of person you want to be, your end goal. What is the end rating that you want to have in this area? What do you want to look like? What muscle groups do you want to be emphasized? What body fat percentage do you want to be? I want you to envision the ideal version of yourself in each of these categories. And then I want you to break down that vision into the necessary activities, habits, and goals that are required to achieve that end goal. So you start with the outcome in mind, and then you break it down so that you can follow step by step the steps that you need to attain that goal. And since you're only doing this for 1 or 2 areas, you are able to create an organized plan of action for these areas that you know you need to follow. And then you can set checkpoints along the way so that you know that you're making progress. And trust me, when you do this, you will no longer feel overwhelmed. You will no longer feel lost, because as you hit those checkpoints off, because you're spending your attention and focus on only 1 or 2 areas and really putting all of your energy in those areas rather than a million different things, you will make progress so much faster, and you will feel so much more satisfied than you were before, when you were just listlessly going through life without a systemized plan of action to improve the areas that needed to be improved the most. And now this final step is probably the most important, and it follows the last 2 steps. After you've prioritized and you've broken down the ultimate goal that you want in that area of life, and then the various milestones that you need to reach, I want you to create a schedule so that you know the exact activities and habits that you need to implement on a daily or weekly basis to achieve those milestones, to achieve that end goal. Now, scheduling is incredibly important because at the end of the day, consistency is what separates the few from the many, the successful from the unsuccessful. Consistency is truly probably the most important way to achieve anything meaningful. Thus, if you're just going willy-nilly, not having these things scheduled, not knowing when you're going to do them, not only is the friction to do them going to be higher because you will have a million excuses of what you could be doing otherwise, you will also continue to feel lost. But if you do this beforehand, if you plan ahead and schedule the activities and habits that you know you need to do to get to that end goal, to achieve those milestones, it is so much more likely that you are going to stick to it and actually achieve that outcome. So, in summary, the main reason why you feel overwhelmed and lost is because of the universal principle of entropy. Entropy is unavoidable. It is a universal law. However, we can exert energy so that we can create systemized plans of action and prioritize the areas that we need to improve the most so that we reduce this entropy, find direction in life, and stop feeling so lost, so directionless, and so idle, feeling like we're not making progress, feeling like we're wasting our time. So my one ask is that you follow these 3 steps. If you truly are overwhelmed, if you truly feel like you're burning out, if you truly feel like you're not living the life that you want to live, I want you to do these steps and tell me in the comments below how you liked it. Tell me if it helped, right? Because I need this feedback to know if my content is resonating with y'all. So just let me know. And then the other thing, I also have a newsletter on Substack that you can subscribe to down in the description. And thank you for watching this video, guys. I really hope this helps. Peace out.